again, Nick can't resist the chance to hear the sound of his own voice despite his own attorney sitting there who is supposed to do the talking. Yeah, now as we get into the hearing stuff, Jesus Christ with this guy. I mean,
just shut up.
I've been through a divorce where you had to, go to court and get all this done. Mm-hmm. You sit there, you let your attorney speak for you. He's the professional. You let him go. And he does a better job of representing you than you would do of representing yourself because you're emotional, So Nick decides to pipe up while his attorney's sitting right there because he has to show off for his lady up in the balcony. Remember the side piece came to CPS hearings.
He's got to look good for her.
Yeah, he's got to show her I can lawyer. You know how the internet says I'm a retard who doesn't know how to lawyer? Well, we only say that because you can't wake up for traffic court. But, you're worse than Joe Pesci at the beginning of My Cousin Vinny. But he's going to get in there and he's going to show his lawyer. This is why I don't see him taking a plea deal. Constantly thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. Or if I was in the room, you weren't the smartest guy in the room, and I'm an idiot. You're a dumb guy. You're a dumb guy who mommy and daddy never told you no. Mommy and daddy always told you were special. And now at 42, we're seeing how the rotten fruit falls from the tree. Because now you think you're the smartest guy in the room,
we wouldn't be here, sir.
Yeah, that's a great point. If you were the smartest guy in the room, you wouldn't be here. You know who the smartest person in the room was that day? Kayla. Because at least Kayla went to the oldest and said, these are the consequences of our actions. Kayla was smarter than you on this day. So the lawyer is there, this time taking a simple question of whether the parents have, quote, been cooperating with drug testing as his time to belt out objection. The client yelled out objection. Represent yourself if you want to represent yourself, but don't have a lawyer there and yell out objection. Why his lawyer didn't hit him with a phone book at that moment? I have no idea. So he yells out objection to whether or not the parents have been cooperating with drug testing.
What are you going to object about this?
That's the question.
You're trying to get your kids back. Objection. This will make me look really bad. We can't do this.
It's devastating to my case. Objection to the introduction when that's not even what they were doing. They were asking, you've been taking drug tests? That's a yes or no.
Yeah. That should be yeah would be his answer if he was being honest. But no, you should be able to just answer that question.
So objection to the introduction of the drug test evidence that wasn't even the call of the question. As if panicking at the thought of ever discussing the parents' own hair follicle tests on May 30th, Nick goes, they just ask if he'd been taking tests. And Nick, in an effort to look totally innocent, goes, no, you can't use our hair follicle test. Objection. No. And the judge doesn't even address him. What the judge should have said is, hey, that's not the question. That's not what we're asking, you dipshit. But instead what the judge does is basically no-sells Nick and goes, counsel, would you like to object? And the lawyer's probably just looking at him and looking at the judge and going, why am I even here? A lot of people want to see the body cam footage, of the arrest, which I don't really need.
You want the follicle test.
Right.
Well, you don't need to. You know what's on that footage. Yeah. You've been there.
I know what that house looks like. I think the last time I was there was a couple weeks after I was done because Kayla had me come over for a second and then we went out. I picked her up at the house. That was the funniest, man. When, because Kayla wanted to still, have a connection after I left.
While I wait for your wife.
Yes. I'm going to lift your wife up and press her against your truck and make out with her aggressively for a while. Excuse me. I have shit to attend to, sir. That was weird. That was, we were making out behind their big van. And Nick came out to throw the garbage out and saw us. And I'm like, oh, God, this is so fucking weird. It was strange.
Jesus Christ.
As long as she was happy. So.
Oh, yeah, because you got nothing out of it.
Remember, cocaine stays in urine for what, 24 to 48 hours?
I don't know.
Stay in urine. 1 to 2 days. So about 24 hours. Cocaine stays in your urine. So all you got to do is not do coke for 24 hours and you can piss clean. Right?
Yep.
And if you're trying to get your kids back, you're stopping everything, right? Like you're done with every intoxicant, every bad thing.
He threw out all the booze. I thought we were done clean living.
Say that again, Johnny.
He threw out all the booze.
And
he
now
said he got rid of all the booze. Got rid of everything.
He said that when? How soon after getting out of jail did he say he threw away all the booze?
I think like his first stream that he came back on.
First stream back. His first urine tests were handed to the state at the last minute in the hallway, which even then still tested positive for alcohol almost 2 weeks after the arrest. So this is still boozing, still drinking it up. And remember, this is in the afternoon, so that means, like, he's drinking today. Because they say it takes 1 hour to process one drink out of your body.
Okay.
To get that out of your system. So this was an afternoon hearing, and he pissed hot for booze. Meaning he was drinking that morning. He was drinking, he was day drinking the day he had a CPS test after he told the world. Remember, Nick always tells the truth. He's a stand-up guy. He got all the booze out of his house. Now, that's a dumb thing to say because let's assume the impossible and that he's telling the truth. You can go get more booze. It's not impressive to throw all the booze out of your house.
Right. And it's so easy to have forgotten one here or there.
Yeah.
So, again, like, I threw all the booze out of my house. Like, okay, sure. But now you can't get drunk on stream at all, or you're called out on that. So apparently now you have to squeeze your drinking into every moment that you're not on air. That's going to be more of a problem.
They're saying it's all over at April's new nanny condo. So he goes over there to drink. No, I disagree with you. I don't think he ever took the booze out of the house. If he's got alcohol in his urine, and this is, say, 2 p.m, that means at the earliest he was drinking at 2 a.m. But more likely he was drinking in the morning and the afternoon. So the grandparents who are watching the kids say, you know, hey, can we just bring them over and, you know, everybody hangs out and the kids are fine. And the county's like, no. Like, why? Well, do you know how to tell when someone's up? And the grandparents are like, no. And I feel like what they should have said was, have you ever watched one of Nick's streams? You know, show him the sleepy stream. You know,
have you ever been to a bar? Like, I mean,
show him the one that got Nick arrested. That's what someone being up looks like. And more oddly, because at least Nick's parents still did, quote, these are Nick's parents, unlike Kayla's. Remember, Kayla's family helped get them arrested.
Right.
Kayla's family was like, this is up. These guys are not okay. Somebody needs to stop. Right. And I know Dan. Dan's a no-nonsense kind of dude. Like I said, Dan's my favorite. Kayla's stepdad is a good dude. And he would not put up with that kind of shit. I can't imagine how he's handling this. Because this is something unfathomable to a guy like him. So I hope he's doing okay.
Well, then, no offense, though, but has he not... How much of a relationship has he had then? Because, like, you haven't noticed this stuff going on around them? Or?
Well, I mean, I only saw them, like, I'd go over to their, we were over at their house once. We'd go out for dinner. We'd see them at the children's events and things like that. And I would always I'd talk fucking Vikings. You know, saw him at church that one time. I'd talk Vikings with Dan and shit like that. We'd sit and talk forever. I love that guy. He's great.
Right.
But he at least, you know, he and Kayla's mom and sister and everyone else were like, this is dumb. You know? But Nick's parents, so again, shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations, not holding little baby Nick accountable for anything, never teaching little baby Nick any lessons. Nick's 42 years old. I stood there at the door while his dad goes, do your taxes. I will. It was like a little kid being lectured because Nick's like, I will, God. It was pathetic. A man in his 60s, probably his late 60s, having to tell his 42-year-old son, do your taxes. He even said, do your taxes. That's why I'm up here. So I'm thinking,
oh my God, he made a trip up just to get him to do his taxes?
I think he was up to watch the kids because I believe the dad had to make a payment on property taxes once, and he was not happy about that. But Nick doesn't remember to pay his taxes. So I think Daddy Rekieta probably came up to watch the kids because he watched them all that week. That's why, I picked up the tab at dinner as a thank you, because you thank your parents for watching your goddamn kids. You pick up because remember, Nick's excuse for everything. He yells at that cop with the speeding ticket. I'm running the kids around all the time. You don't have a job. You're not stressed out because you're running the kids around. I've made the kids run 2 different days. It was not hard. It's not difficult to make the kids run for the Rekieta family, especially when you have no job.
Yeah.
And mom doesn't have a job. You can make those runs. He was stressed because he was blitzed on coke all the time. But as you know, Johnny, your stress level is over here.
It's here. And then when you...
Exactly. Johnny explains it better than I do.